Hi, welcome to Rambling with Tom. Today's rambling, I'm going to talk about milking the cow. Did you ever milk a cow? You must have. Anyway, if you were milking the cow in the wintertime and the cow was in the byre, she would be maybe standing up against a wall, or she'd be tied there, and if you always put the stool on the right hand side of the cow as you're looking towards the rear. Now if she was up against that wall, you couldn't. But if you just gave her a few taps on the rump, she would move gently over 3 or 4 times, and you could sit down there on your little 3-legged stool and start milking. When you think about it, it was a little scary because the stool was very low, so you're sitting down low, and here's this big cow could move back over on top of you if she wanted to, but she never did. Just milking time, and she knew what was happening. And we'd start milking. The next thing you would see is the old cat would show up. Every morning the cat would come to the byre. So you would point one of the cow's teats. They call them teats. We call them tits. You'd point one of the tits at the old cat and give him one shot of milk in the face. Boy, he liked that. He would be just licking that face of his away there, and it looked like he was smiling right at you. When he was all cleaned up, give him another shot. And of course, milking the cow took maybe 10 minutes, if that. Some cows were harder to milk than others. Some cows, you had a very good heavy stream of milk came out with each pull, and some cows was not a heavy stream, but it was just a light stream of milk, so that cow was hard to milk. Now in the summertime was a different story. The cows would not be in the byre at night. We'd lift them out all the time in the summertime. So you'd go out in the fields, and first you'd have to find the cow, whether she was up above the house or down below the house in the fields. And that old cow would just, she could be walking around feeding, but as soon as you came up with the stool and going to sit down on her right hand side again, she would stop eating and just stand there till you finished milking her. There was only one thing on the outside in the summer you had to be very careful of, because like most animals, each cow traveled with her own army of flies. And the cows have their automatic fly swatter, which is the tail. So you're sitting there by her side, you could get a rap in the face with her tail if you weren't a little careful and protect yourself there. And there's nothing can wake you up faster than a rap of a wet cow's tail in the face early in the morning. And finish one, you go on to the next cow until you're done. The milk when you came in back in the house would be strained, and you put some aside for the use of the house for the day. You would put some away in a crock that would be, let it sit until it thickened and soured for churning for butter. And if you had extra milk, you'd put in a 10-gallon, no, it wasn't a 10-gallon, about a 5-gallon can for the creamery. And 1 or 2 days a week they would pick the milk up on the side of the road and take it to the creamery. And at the end of the month you would get a check for that. We'd put it in the creamery can, what you had left over. And since we had no refrigeration or cooling, we kept it outside in one of the little, we call it a shaw, a little drainage ditch with those fresh water running all the time. And there was shade from the sun, so it kept the milk nice and cool there. So anyway, if you're ever in a situation where you have to milk the cow in the summertime, just watch out for the tail. Thanks for listening.